What if I told you that millions of UK homeowners could be pushed to the edge of selling their homes in the next 12 months? It sounds shocking, but with mortgage costs rising fast and household budgets tightening, this is becoming a very real possibility. Right now, families across the UK are facing sudden payment increases, shrinking savings, and bills that just won't stop climbing. What once felt stable is now starting to feel uncertain, and for many, the pressure is building faster than expected. But here's the part most people are missing. This could be just the beginning. In this video, I'll reveal the hidden forces driving this crisis and what you need to do now before it's too late. Number 1. Skyrocketing interest rates. Right now, one of the biggest forces shaking the UK housing market is the rapid rise in interest rates. For years, homeowners enjoyed incredibly low borrowing costs, which made mortgages feel manageable, even comfortable. But that era has changed. In an effort to control inflation, central banks have pushed rates higher, and that shift is hitting homeowners harder than many expected. What once felt affordable is quickly turning into a serious financial burden. Imagine this. A homeowner who was paying a manageable monthly mortgage suddenly sees their payments jump by £300, £500, or even more. That's not a small inconvenience. That's a complete disruption to a household budget. And the scary part? This isn't happening to just a few people. Millions of homeowners are either already feeling this pressure or are about to, especially those moving off older fixed-rate deals. From a practical point of view, this means many families are being forced to make tough choices, cutting essential spending, dipping into savings, or in worse cases, considering selling their homes just to stay afloat. The emotional stress alone can be overwhelming, turning what should be a place of comfort into a source of anxiety. So what can you do? The key is to act early, not react late. Start by reviewing your current mortgage terms. If you're still on a fixed deal, check when it ends. Speak to lenders about locking in a better rate now before things potentially rise further. Even small adjustments today could save you thousands tomorrow. Number 2. Mortgage time bomb. Here's something that sounds almost invisible, but it's one of the most dangerous triggers of this entire crisis. Millions of fixed-rate mortgages are about to expire. Over the past few years, homeowners locked in incredibly low rates, some as low as 1% or 2%. At the time, it felt like a smart, safe move. But now, those deals are ending, and what's replacing them is a completely different reality. Think of it like a financial time bomb ticking quietly in the background. The moment that fixed deal ends, homeowners are automatically shifted to much higher rates, often double or even triple what they were paying before. That means a mortgage that once cost £800 a month could suddenly jump to £1,400 or more. No warning, no gradual increase, just a sharp financial shock overnight. What makes this even more serious is the sheer number of people affected. We're not talking about a small group. This wave impacts millions of households across the UK, many of whom built their budgets around those lower payments. When that foundation disappears, the pressure can become unbearable, forcing some to consider selling just to avoid falling behind. So what can you actually do? Don't wait for the shock to hit. Check your mortgage end date today. Speak with lenders early and explore remortgaging options before your deal expires. Even securing a slightly better rate ahead of time can make a huge difference. The key here is simple. Anticipate the change before it controls you. Quick question. When does your current mortgage deal end? Drop it in the comments, month or year, and let's see how many people are facing this time bomb soon. And if this helped you think ahead, hit subscribe. One click from you means we can keep putting in the work to keep you informed and prepared. Number 3. Cost of living crisis. Now let's talk about the pressure you feel every single day, the cost of living crisis. This isn't some distant economic concept. It's in your grocery bill, your energy statement, your fuel costs, and it's quietly eating away at your ability to keep up with your mortgage. Prices for essentials have risen sharply, while most incomes have barely moved. That gap? It's where the real danger lies. Picture this. Your monthly budget used to have a little breathing room. Maybe you could save, maybe even enjoy small luxuries. But now, food costs more, electricity bills have surged, and even basic necessities feel expensive. That extra money has vanished. And when your mortgage payment suddenly increases on top of all this, the situation can quickly become overwhelming. What makes this even more serious is how relatable it is. This isn't just affecting one group, it's hitting families, young professionals, retirees, almost everyone. When daily living becomes more expensive, homeowners are forced into tough decisions. Skip savings, cut essentials, or worst case, consider selling their home just to stay financially stable. So what can you do right now? Start by taking control of your spending. Track where your money is going, cut non-essential expenses, and build a small emergency buffer, even if it's just a few months of expenses. It may not feel like much today, but that cushion could be the difference between staying secure or being forced into a decision you're not ready for. Number 4. Declining real wages. Here's a problem that doesn't always make headlines, but quietly affects millions of people: declining real wages. On paper, your salary might look the same, or even slightly higher than before. But in reality, that money is buying you less and less every month. Why? Because inflation is rising faster than income, and that gap is slowly squeezing households across the UK. Think about it this way. If your salary increases by 2%, but your living costs rise by 6% or more, you're actually losing purchasing power. It's like running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. You're moving, but falling behind at the same time. And when this happens over months or years, the impact becomes serious. What once covered your mortgage, bills, and savings comfortably now barely stretches to the essentials. This creates a dangerous situation for homeowners. As real income shrinks, even small financial shocks, like higher mortgage rates, can feel overwhelming. Suddenly, people who are financially stable find themselves under pressure, dipping into savings or struggling to keep up. Over time, this can lead to difficult decisions, including selling property just to regain control. So what's the smart move here? First, recognize the reality. It's not just about how much you earn, but what your money can actually do. Look for ways to increase income, whether through side work, skill upgrades, or negotiating better pay. At the same time, focus on protecting your spending power by cutting waste and prioritizing essentials. In a time like this, staying proactive isn't optional, it's necessary. Let's make this real. Do you feel like your income is keeping up with your expenses or falling behind? Drop ahead or behind in the comments. And if you value honest, no fluff insights like this, hit subscribe. It's one simple click that helps us keep delivering content that actually matters. Number 5. Property price corrections. For years, many people believed one thing about the housing market: prices only go up. But that belief is now being tested. Across the UK, we're starting to see clear signs of a property price correction, and for many homeowners, this could become a serious problem. During the boom years, house prices surged rapidly. Low interest rates, high demand, and easy access to credit pushed values higher and higher. But now, the situation is shifting. With borrowing becoming more expensive and fewer buyers entering the market, demand is slowing down, and prices are beginning to adjust. At first glance, falling prices might sound like good news, especially for buyers. But for existing homeowners, it can create a risky situation known as negative equity, where the value of your home drops below what you still owe on your mortgage. Imagine needing to sell your house, only to realize you'd still be left with debt afterward. That's a position no one wants to be in. This also creates a ripple effect. When prices fall, buyers hesitate, sellers panic, and the entire market slows down. Homes stay listed longer, and people who need to sell quickly may be forced to accept lower offers than expected. So what should you do? First, avoid making emotional decisions. A short-term drop doesn't always mean long-term loss. Focus on your financial stability rather than market noise. If you're not under pressure to sell, holding onto your property could be the smarter move. In uncertain times, patience can be more powerful than panic. Number 6. Landlord sell-off wave. There's a major shift happening behind the scenes, one that could reshape the entire housing market, and it's the mass sell-off by landlords. Over the past few years, owning rental property in the UK has become far less attractive. New regulations, higher taxes, and rising mortgage costs have created a perfect storm that's pushing many landlords to exit the market altogether. Think about it from their perspective. A landlord who once made steady profit from rental income is now facing higher interest payments, stricter energy efficiency rules, and increased maintenance costs. On top of that, tax changes have reduced how much profit they can actually keep. For many, the math simply doesn't work anymore. So what are they doing? Selling. And not just a few, thousands of landlords are putting properties on the market at the same time. This sudden increase in supply can push house prices down even further, adding more pressure to an already fragile market. But here's where it gets even more serious. As landlords sell, the number of rental properties shrinks. That means fewer options for renters and higher rental prices due to increased demand. It creates a chain reaction. Renters struggle, buyers hesitate, and the entire system feels the strain. So what can you do? If you're renting, consider securing a longer-term agreement to avoid sudden changes. If you're a homeowner or investor, stay alert. This shift could create both risks and opportunities, depending on how prepared you are. In times of change, awareness is your biggest advantage. Quick one. Do you think landlords selling off is a danger or an opportunity? Drop your take in the comments. I want to hear your perspective. And if you respect the effort behind breaking this down clearly, hit subscribe. It's one click for you, but it means everything for this channel. Number 7. Stricter lending rules. Another silent shift that's tightening the housing market is the rise of stricter lending rules. Banks and lenders are no longer as relaxed as they once were. In uncertain economic times, their priority is simple: reduce risk. And that means making it harder for people to borrow money, especially for large commitments like mortgages. Just a few years ago, getting approved for a home loan was relatively straightforward for many buyers. But today, lenders are digging deeper into your finances. They are stress testing your income, checking how you'd cope with higher interest rates, and closely examining your spending habits. Even small details, like existing debts or inconsistent income, can now make a big difference. What does this mean for the housing market? Fewer people qualify for mortgages. And when fewer buyers can enter the market, demand drops. That might sound like it could lower house prices, and it often does, but it also creates a problem for sellers. Homes take longer to sell, and in some cases, owners may be forced to accept lower offers than expected. For homeowners already under financial pressure, this becomes a serious challenge. If you need to sell quickly but buyers can't secure financing, you're left with limited options. It's a situation where the market slows down just when people need it to move faster. So what's the smart move? Start strengthening your financial profile now. Improve your credit score, reduce unnecessary debt, and maintain a stable income stream if possible. Even if you're not planning to buy or sell immediately, being financially prepared gives you flexibility when the market shifts. In times like these, access to credit can make or break your options. Number 8. Rising unemployment risks. Here's a factor many people underestimate until it hits close to home: rising unemployment risks. When the economy starts to slow down, businesses feel the pressure first. Costs go up, demand drops, and companies are forced to make difficult decisions. Unfortunately, that often means job cuts, hiring freezes, or reduced working hours. Now think about how quickly this can affect homeowners. Your mortgage is one of your biggest monthly commitments. As long as your income is stable, it's manageable. But the moment that income is disrupted, even temporarily, the situation can become stressful. Missing just a few payments can create a chain reaction of financial problems. What makes this even more serious is how unpredictable it is. You might feel secure in your job today, but economic shifts can happen fast. Entire industries can slow down almost overnight. And when that happens, thousands of people may find themselves competing for fewer opportunities. This creates a dangerous link to the housing crisis. When people lose their income, they may be forced to dip into savings, borrow money, or eventually sell their homes just to stay afloat. It's not always about poor planning. Sometimes it's simply bad timing in a changing economy. So what can you do? The goal is to build financial resilience before you need it. Start by creating an emergency fund that can cover at least a few months of expenses. Look for ways to diversify your income, whether it's freelancing, part-time work, or learning new skills that increase your job security. In uncertain times, stability isn't guaranteed, but preparation gives you control. Real talk. If your income stopped tomorrow, how many months could you survive? Drop a number in the comments. No pressure, just awareness. And if you value content that actually prepares you for reality, hit subscribe. One click from you keeps this mission alive. Number 9. Energy efficiency regulations. Here's a factor that's quietly building pressure on homeowners and landlords alike. Stricter energy efficiency regulations. On the surface, these rules are designed for a good reason, to reduce carbon emissions and make homes more environmentally friendly. But the hidden cost behind these changes is something many property owners are only just beginning to realize. New standards are pushing homes to meet higher energy performance ratings. That might mean upgrading insulation, replacing windows, installing more efficient heating systems, or even making structural changes. And none of this comes cheap. For some properties, especially older homes, the cost of these upgrades can run into the thousands or even tens of thousands of pounds. Now imagine already dealing with rising mortgage payments and higher living costs, and then being told you need to invest heavily just to meet new regulations. For many homeowners and landlords, this becomes a tipping point. Instead of upgrading, some may choose to sell the property entirely, adding even more supply to an already pressured market. There's also a time factor. These regulations aren't just suggestions. They often come with deadlines. That creates urgency, and when too many people rush to act at once, it can overwhelm both the market and available resources like contractors and materials. So what's the smart approach? Don't wait until the last minute. Start with small, gradual improvements. Better insulation, energy-efficient appliances, simple fixes that add up over time. Spreading the cost makes it far more manageable and keeps you ahead of sudden regulatory pressure. In this case, being proactive isn't just smart, it could save you from a major financial shock later. Number 10. Investor pullback. The final piece of this puzzle, and one that many people overlook, is the investor pullback from the UK housing market. For years, large investors, both domestic and international, have played a huge role in driving property demand. They brought in capital, bought multiple properties, and helped push prices higher. But now, that confidence is starting to fade. Why? It comes down to uncertainty and reduced returns. Rising interest rates mean borrowing is more expensive, stricter regulations are increasing costs, and overall market conditions feel less predictable. For investors, this changes the equation completely. When profits shrink and risks grow, the smartest move often becomes stepping back or pulling out entirely. And this is a major impact. When big investors slow down or exit the market, a significant portion of demand disappears. That means fewer buyers competing for properties, which can lead to falling or stagnant house prices. For homeowners hoping to sell, this can make the process slower and more challenging. There's also a psychological effect. When investors, who are often seen as market experts, start leaving, it can shake confidence among everyday buyers. People begin to question whether it's the right time to invest, and hesitation spreads. That slowdown can ripple across the entire housing market. So what can you do in this situation? Focus on your long-term strategy. Don't rely on market hype or short-term trends. Whether you're buying, selling, or holding, make decisions based on your financial stability and future goals, not fear. Because when big players step back, it often creates opportunities, but only for those who are prepared. I'm curious, do you think investors leaving the market is a warning sign or a hidden opportunity? Drop your view in the comments. And if you can see the value in content like this, hit subscribe. It's one simple click that supports all the hard work behind these videos. So when you step back and look at the full picture, it becomes clear. This isn't just one problem, it's a perfect storm of multiple pressures hitting the UK housing market all at once. From rising interest rates and expiring mortgage deals to the cost of living crisis, falling real wages, and tightening regulations, each factor alone is challenging. But together, they create a situation that could push many homeowners to their limits. What makes this especially important is how real and relatable it is. This isn't about distant headlines or abstract economics. It's about everyday people trying to hold on to their homes while the financial ground shifts beneath them. And while the idea of a crisis can feel overwhelming, it's important to remember this. Awareness gives you power. The goal isn't to panic, it's to prepare. The people who come out strongest in uncertain times are not the ones who ignore the signs, but the ones who act early. That means reviewing your finances, understanding your mortgage, cutting unnecessary expenses, and building a safety net wherever possible. Even small steps today can create massive stability tomorrow. And here's something to think about. Every market shift creates both risk and opportunity. While some may be forced into difficult decisions, others who are prepared may find chances to move forward strategically. The key difference: preparation and mindset. So ask yourself honestly, if things continue to tighten, will you be reacting or ready? Because in a changing market like this, the best move you can make is staying informed, staying flexible, and staying one step ahead.